Hi folks, here we are after installing free NAS, setting up the dataset, setting up the permissions, and we know everything is working fine now. We are ready to copy data over to our volumes. But one thing we should be able to do is we should be able to monitor the NAS while it's running, and that is a very important thing to do if you don't want to lose your data, of course, because if a disk goes bad or anything happens to the NAS, you would want to know what is happening. In today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few things that we need to set up on the NAS to actually manage it, or rather automatically manage it. And that would include automatic alerts that would be generated, that would be sent to your email, and setting up smart tests, things like that. And also we would talk about some power consumption or power saving methods that we can implement in the NAS so that you can have your disks to spin down after about a few minutes of inactivity. All right. So to manage the NAS, the first thing that we are going to do is we want to add smart tests to be run periodically on our drives. To do that, we go under tasks, smart tests, and just do add smart test. Select all the drives. We want the short self-test. This is the kind of test that runs on your drives when you restart your machine or when you start your machine. And what I'll do is here you actually schedule how frequently you want to run these tests. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run these tests once every 12 hours and every day of the week and every month. So it's going to be twice every day. And I say okay, and there you have it. You have your smart tests created. Now interestingly, once you have the smart test created, nothing is going to happen if they fail. I mean, unless until you don't log into the GUI to see your alerts, you're not going to see any results from the tests. So how do you get this? How do you get alerts on this? To do that, what we need to do is we need to set up email for the NAS. And the first thing that you need to do is you go under users, select your user, and make sure that you have an email specified in here. Now that is required. Now once you have that, you go into email, and this is where you set up your outgoing SMTP server. And what's going to happen is once you set this server up, any alerts or any updates that NAS has, what it will do is it will use this information to send an email to the user that you have specified in here, or the email that you have specified in here. I have put up my Gmail SMTP settings here, and you can just use the exact same things. And it's always a good idea to do a test send and check whether you're getting emails. Once you do that and save this, you have your email set up. And then what would happen is you would get an email alert from FreeNAS if any of the smart tests fail, or even if they succeed and stuff like that. So you basically get a status email from FreeNAS for every activity that happens. Now the next thing that we are going to talk about in this video is power savings. And by default, what would happen is your disks in the NAS would be running 24/7, and they would never be spun down. And that would consume about 5 watts per drive that you have in the system. So in my system, it consumes about 30 watts additional power while the disks are spinning. So when my NAS is turned on with all my disks spinning, it consumes about 65 watts of power. What I can do is I can reduce the power consumption to half by actually spinning down the disks after about 10 minutes of inactivity. And this can happen on per drive basis. So it is possible that if 2 of your datasets residing on 2 drives are heavily used, those 2 drives may not be spinning down, but other 4 drives will spin down and will give you about 20 watts of saving, which translates to about 5 watts per disk. Now we'll go in and set up the disk spin down. For that, all you need to do is you need to go to the init shutdown scripts, And here I've already added the ATA idle command for all the 6 drives that I have. And what essentially you do is you just go to add init shutdown script and say it is a command. You type in the command there, and when is it is post init. So what will happen is whenever FreeNAS initializes on a reboot, it will automatically run these commands, and it will make sure that your drives will spin down after the duration that you have specified. And the actual command that you issue is this. The number after the -s is the number of minutes after which it should spin down the disks, and then it is the device identifier. And here I have all the scripts for post init added to spin down the drives after 10 minutes of inactivity. Now, one peculiar thing that I've noted about FreeNAS is even though I have these commands for post init, most of the times these don't run when I do a restart of NAS. I don't know why. There might be some bug in there that is causing this. If that happens, what you do is just open a shell. You can either open this shell or use Putty or any other shell managers to log into your NAS. And the moment I issue these commands, I can actually hear the disk spinning down if they are actually idle. And you have to do this for all your drives. And there you have it. Now all the disks are spun down. And now if I look at the power usage for the NAS, it has dropped down from 66 watts to 36 watts. So spinning down 6 drives gave me a savings of about 30 watts. And that is it. So this is, you have to do this just once per restart. And that's it. Once you do that, you don't have to worry about it, and the disks will then automatically spin down. Those are the 2 things that I really wanted to share with you folks, so that the managing of the NAS becomes much easier. So folks, I hope this video will help you manage your NAS a bit better and get some power savings out of it. Until next time, have a good day.